Chapter 11 Sympathy. Tara sits on the edge of her bed, lost in thought as moonlight bathes her small room in silver. Her mind drifts to Nirmala, a woman whose life has been marked by tragedy and silent suffering. She remembers Nirmala's sorrowful face, her eyes speaking volumes beyond words. Tara had always found her intriguing, a quiet ghost behind the dull door across the hall. Now, understanding her pain, Tara's heart aches deeply. She senses something off about Nirmala. Her quiet presence, her nervous flinches, like she exists in the world but remains apart from it. As memories unfold, Tara learns of Nirmala's tragic past, how she was blamed and abandoned after a terrible loss. Years have passed, but Nirmala's silence remains, haunting her home like a ghost. The weight of her pain feels overwhelming, even for an 11-year-old. Tara wonders how Nirmala wakes up each day, how she endures such suffering. A tear slips down her cheek, but she quickly wipes it away, feeling helpless yet connected. She senses their fates are intertwined, bound by an invisible thread of empathy. The clock's soft ticking reminds her that time may not heal all wounds, but maybe kindness can, maybe love can. Filled with a quiet resolve, Tara decides she wants to help Nirmala feel less alone. As dawn's first light spills into the room, she sits up, determined. Though she's just a girl, she understands the language of kindness and hope. Maybe, just maybe, small gestures, smiling, talking, inviting her for tea, could be the start of something bigger. Chapter 12 Unhealed Trauma. Nirmala lives alone in a house filled with decay and despair. For 25 years, she has been consumed by one obsession, revenge against Kintale, who destroyed everything she loved. She has delved into dark magic, chanting incantations, tracing sigils, and offering sacrifices to forces she barely understands. Her obsession is burning her alive, her body withering, her mind slipping into madness. Shadows move where there is no light, voices whisper her name, and paranoia takes hold. She builds effigies, curses the night, pouring her soul into rituals to destroy Kintale. But nothing changes. Kintale thrives while Nirmala rots, her life consumed by her own dark magic. Her house mirrors her mind, chaotic, haunted, and alive with malice. She believes she is close to victory, but what she cannot see is that she has already lost. Her revenge has claimed her. She is the true victim. Still she chants, still fights, her voice cracking, trembling hands reaching into the abyss. The darkness waits, and she walks willingly into its embrace. Chapter 13 Kintale. Centuries ago, in the dense forests of Gadchiroli, Maharashtra, the Gond tribe thrived in harmony with nature, worshipping the forest as sacred. But they feared one part, Banbhumi, the forbidden woods, where no birds sang and twisted trees loomed. Elders whispered of Asur Shalaka, an ancient ruin deep within Banbhumi, housing a fragment of an evil that once threatened gods and mortals. Legend spoke of a fierce battle that scarred the land, leaving the ruin as a reminder of darkness. Bhima, a curious and restless young man, refused to believe these tales. While others avoided Banbhumi, he was drawn to its mysteries. During a dry season, calamity struck. Rivers dried, crops withered, animals fled. The tribe's shaman tried to appease the spirits, but nothing helped. Whispers of a curse grew louder. Overhearing their fears, Bhima's curiosity ignited. Ignoring warnings, he ventured into Banbhumi at night. The forest grew heavier, shadows danced, and gnarled trees watched him. After hours, he found the ruin, Asur Shalaka, with alien carvings of monsters locked in eternal battle. At its center, a black orb pulsed with life. The orb called to him, whispering in an unknown language. Driven by a strange force, Bhima touched it. A blinding light exploded, and he felt a surge of pain and power. visions of burning forests, collapsing mountains, and a figure with glowing amber eyes appeared, Kintale, an ancient demon imprisoned by gods. The orb was his fragment, seeking a vessel. Bhima's body transformed, his skin darkened, veins glowed gold, and his eyes burned with unnatural amber light. His voice was no longer human. Now, locked in an eternal struggle, Bhima was possessed by Kintile's essence, forced to perform dark rituals that drew suffering from his people, strengthening the demon's hold on the world. When Bhima returned to Parnakuti, the villagers recoiled in horror. His face, once familiar, had become monstrous, radiating fear and menace. Maharika declared him cursed, a vessel of demonic energy. Armed with torches and weapons, the villagers drove him out. Heartbroken and furious, Bhima fled to Banbhumi, where Kintal's influence grew stronger, feeding on his despair. The demon's hunger for power began to erase Bhima's memories and emotions, but fleeting fragments of his humanity still surfaced, moments of regret and longing. This internal struggle defined Kintale, a being torn between destruction and the faint echoes of a simpler life. Under his dark influence, Banbhumi transformed into a nightmare realm. Trees twisted into clawed hands, streams ran black, and the ground oozed foul substances. Once familiar animals returned, their eyes glowing faintly, moving as if controlled by unseen forces. Shadows flickered at the forest's edge, whispers in unknown languages drifted through the air. Few dared to enter, and even fewer returned, speaking of glowing amber eyes watching from the darkness. As Kintal's power grew, he could invade minds, plant fears, and twist perceptions. He transformed into shadows or monstrous forms, nearly impossible to track or kill. The forest itself became his weapon. Trees moved to block paths, vines ensnared intruders. Despite his power, Kintale remained fractured. The Asura within sought to reclaim its full strength and rule as a god of destruction, but Bhima's lingering humanity caused hesitation and doubt. He lashed out violently to suppress these feelings. Over time, the villagers erased Bhima's name, leaving only Kintale, a cautionary tale of hubris and forbidden knowledge. Offerings were left at the forest's edge to appease the darkness, and the name Banbhumi was spoken only in whispers. Yet the forest endured. Centuries passed, but legends persisted, whispers in the darkness, glowing eyes watching from shadows. Some say Kintale's power continues to grow, fueled by his internal struggle and rage. Others believe Bhima's soul might someday break free, ending demon Kintale's reign. For now, the forest stands as a monument to a young man's curiosity and the ancient evil that consumed him. Chapter 14. Bhima versus Kintale. Tonight, heavy wind and rain whisper secrets from unseen worlds. Nirmala Kapoor sits alone by a dim lamp, flipping through an old brittle ledger. Her house, with peeling walls and creaking beams, feels alive tonight, watching, breathing. She senses a presence just beyond her sight, a shadow darker than night itself. Bhima watches her from the corner, his shadow melting into the darkness. In this form, he's fluid, unbound by flesh. He feels her unease, her breath hitching at every sound. He shifts, taking the vague shape of a man, translucent yet menacing, then fades into the ether. His thoughts twist like a serpent, memories blurred by time, yet the bitterness remains. This house, this land, once belonged to him, or so he believes. Whispers of betrayal haunt him, of a home torn from his grasp. Bound here by forces beyond understanding, he cannot rest. Kintal's name echoes like a curse in his mind, an older, darker entity that holds him in a sinister grip. Kintale has tethered him to a cursed purpose, twisting his will. Under its influence, Bhima's desire is to destroy, to widen cracks in the walls, to bring ruin to the family inside. Centuries of rage distort his perception. He believes this house is his, with every spectral fiber. Kintaal feeds on Bhima's pain, drowning his fleeting memories of warmth and humanity in waves of malice. His joy comes not from peace but chaos, an evil satisfaction planted by Kintaale. Each night, Nirmala dreams of a man in the shadows, eyes burning with resentment, voice hollow and distant. "This is my house," he whispers. "You are the trespasser." Doubt flickers in Bhima's mind, moments when he questions his actions. Seeing Nirmala lost in thought by the fire, a faint glimmer of empathy stirs, perhaps a ghost of his former self. But Kintaal's grip is strong, whispering darkly, reminding him of his purpose, of the satisfaction in their fear. "You are mine," Kintaale's voice echoes from the walls. "And so is this house." Nirmala whispers in anguish, "Where is my family? What did you do with them?" Bhima's voice cracks as he replies, "This house is mine." Chapter 15, Encounter. Outside, the storm rages like a feral beast, rain pounding against the windows with sharp, relentless sound. Inside, an oppressive silence is shattered by the wind's eerie whisper. The house, once a sanctuary, now feels hostile, alive with an unseen energy that Nirmala can no longer ignore. Tonight it breathes, waits. She hears it again. "Nirmala!" A low, guttural whisper like wind scraping over a grave. Her spine stiffens, heart pounding, and she turns sharply. "Who's there?" she croaks, voice barely above a whisper. Shadows ripple, and from the darkness, a towering figure emerges, glowing eyes burning like molten gold. Bhima's spectral form is monstrous yet human, suffocating in presence. He looms over her, twisted with rage and pain. Behind him, in the shadows, another presence, Kintaale, palpable and malicious. "This is my house?" Bhima's voice booms, resonating like a drumbeat in her chest. "You stole it from me." Clutching the photograph tighter, her knuckles white, Nirmala whispers, "No, this is my home. It was left to me." Bhima steps closer, cold air crackling around him. His form flickers between translucent haze and solid flesh. Leaning in, his face inches from hers, he hisses, "Liar! You have no right to it." Her heart races as his hatred presses down, suffocating her. Tears stream down her cheeks as she pleads, "Please, I don't know what you want. Leave me alone." A cruel, dark laugh echoes, deeper than Bhima's, as if the walls themselves are mocking her. Kintaal's presence floods the room, wrapping around her like a vice. "She will break soon," Kintaal whispers, his voice slithering into Bhima's mind. "Show her insignificance, make her suffer." Bhima's form flickers, contorting in agony, eyes dimming. "She is just a weak woman," he mutters, wrestling with himself. Kintaal's laughter grows louder. "Weakness," he spits. "You were a fool in life, and you are a fool in death. Do as I command." Bhima straightens, hesitation gone, Kintaal's will consuming him. Skeletal fingers stretch toward Nirmala, and the room's temperature drops sharply. The lamp flickers and dies, plunging everything into darkness. She screams as invisible hands grip her throat, lifting her from the chair. She kicks and flails, voice strangled, the photograph falling to the floor. Bhima's shadowed form looms closer, glowing eyes feeding on her fear. "Do you feel it?" he growls. Nirmala gasps, clawing at her neck as the air thins. "Please, I don't understand," she chokes. Bhima releases her, and she collapses, coughing and wheezing. He kneels beside her, eyes burning with torment and fury. "You will," he says, voice dripping with menace. I will show you what you have stolen. The room twists and warps as if the house itself is alive. Suddenly, Nirmala stands in a lush field, the scent of damp earth thick in the air. In the distance, Bhima's modest home. This was mine, Bhima's voice echoes in her mind. Before your kind took my land, I will destroy everyone who took what's mine. You don't belong here. Bhima's rage becomes a storm, towering over her, more monstrous than before. Your ignorance doesn't save you. My master won't leave anyone, especially you, he snarls, laughing hysterically. Shadows echo with Kintal's low, menacing laughter. Yes, he purrs, make her suffer. Let her know despair. Bhima's form shifts, claws elongating. He slashes the air, an unseen force flooding Nirmala's mind with horrific images, her family torn apart, her home in ruins, her life unraveling. She screams, clutching her head as the visions consume her. Stop, she cries, hoarse. Please stop! Kintal's dark glee echoes. Feel it, Bhima? Her fear, her pain. This is your power, your purpose. Bhima's glowing eyes flicker, his face softening briefly. Regret, sorrow. Kintal's shadows deepen. You belong to me. Do as I say, he hisses. Remember who gave you this power. The house trembles as Bhima and Kintali clash, their wills colliding violently. The walls shake, power crackles in the air. Nirmala watches helplessly as Bhima flickers between monstrous and human. The chaos pulls her in. When the light fades, she's alone. The house is silent, the oppressive energy gone. She collapses, clutching a photograph, tears streaming down her face. Outside, dawn's first light breaks through the clouds. The house stands still, but Nirmala knows it's not over. Bhima and Kintale are gone for now, but their dark presence lingers, a stain on her soul.